Goose, did I tell you I opened up a restaurant?
I didn't even know you could cook, Gem. How's it going?
An absolute disaster. There's food everywhere, there are never any clean dishes, and there's almost always something on fire.
Oh.
You should visit.
Yeah, I'll make sure to stop by. Overcooked 2 is the sequel to the wildly successful indie against-the-clock puzzler Overcooked, which saw you and up to 4 friends take control of a group of goofy chefs to prepare a variety of dishes and satisfy a horde of hungry customers.
But this time around, that's not the only horde you have to worry about. While reading aloud from the Necronomicon, the Onion King accidentally raises an army of the unbred from their graves. So it's up to the land's most competent chefs to once again team up and find a way to undermine the undead usurpers.
While Overcooked 2 doesn't bring much new content to the table, it does try to add on and perfect the mechanics of the original. For starters, you can now throw prepped ingredients. Not only does it look really cool when they land on a frying pan or in the arms of a fellow chef, but it also helps cut down on precious seconds, usually spent running around, and is particularly useful when you start cooking in the more precarious kitchen layouts, which are wackier than ever.
The wackiest. While you won't find any fire or ice themed levels, which, for the record, still give me nightmares from the first game, you'll have your hands full with the likes of hot air balloons, rushing rapids, and magical dungeons. These also introduce all manner of tricks and obstacles for you and your friends to fall prey to, navigate around. Such as conveyor belts that can speed up and slow down at random, levitating countertops, and speeding cars. All of which you'll have to avoid if you want to make the most of your limited cooking time.
Yeah, it's crazy how quickly that countdown can sneak up on you, especially if you're not paying attention. Like in the first game, you only have a certain amount of time to pump out orders before they disappear and get slapped with a penalty. The first few levels are pretty forgiving, and I even managed to make it through on my own for a while there. But before too long, it became painfully obvious that I'd need a few helping hands.
Yeah, it may say 1 to 4 players on the box, but without at least 2 people playing, you're gonna find yourself overwhelmed and frustrated quickly. Not only that, but it's just way more enjoyable with other people.
Yeah, exactly. I think most of the charm that comes from couch co-op games like Overcooked 2 comes from the fun you have with your friends. Depending on who you're playing with, you never quite know how the round will play out. Sometimes you'll have an orderly kitchen working at 100% capacity, pumping out meal after meal as the tips rake in.
And sometimes you'll have a complete dumpster fire of chaos and burnt chicken. But for those spawnings without friends on hand to play with, don't worry, because you can now play online. However, it does have its issues, one of which being lag. We reviewed this on the Switch, and I found it very noticeable, particularly when picking up or putting down items. It's not the worst I've seen in an online game, but when time is as big of a factor as it is in Overcooked 2, lag is not something you want getting in the way.
No, definitely not. Another issue, which is unique to the Switch, is there's no chat support. This means that outside of the inbuilt emojis, you have no way of communicating with other chefs.
Which adds another layer of challenge, I guess. But like you said, the fun comes from the interactions you have with your friends. Still, it is really cool when you and your team are able to work around that obstacle. Final thoughts, Goose?
Gem, I had a really fun time here. Overcooked 2 is a delightful dollop of multiplayer fun with just the right amount of chaos thrown in. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 rubber chickens.
What the first Overcooked did really well was take a simple concept, cooking with friends, and made it into this full-blown spectacle. Overcooked 2 takes that and sprinkles on the extra seasoning, which not only updates it, but perfects it. It's a 4.5 from me.